Welcome to part 13, changing display from block to inline. So if you recall, each element has a default display as either block or inline, where block level elements always appear on their own line, and inline elements have the ability to appear in the same line as those elements around it. So to make this change, you simply set this display property in CSS to either inline or block. So let's take a look at some example HTML down here. So we have two headers, two H2 tags with a paragraph element between them. Now the headers and the paragraph are block level elements, so they stretch the entire width of the page and they are placed on their own line. So let's go ahead and make a change here, and the way you do that is just by setting this display property, and we'll change the paragraph at first from display block to display inline. And you'll notice that the paragraph is not quite in the same, it's not in the same line as the headers just yet, because the headers are still display block and they have to appear on their own line. It doesn't matter if the element after it is in line. As long as it itself is a block level element, then it'll always appear on its own line. Now what did happen was the border shifted from the width of the page to just surround the content of just surround the content of the paragraph. So it no longer stretches the entire width. The end of the element ends right where the content is. Okay, so let's go ahead and change the display for both of these headers from block to inline. And now you'll see that everything is in the same line together. So they're all inline elements. And that means the element will end right where its content ends. So you can now see the border has now wrapped right around the edge of the content for all of the elements that we see here. Okay, so let's add in one more element here. We're going to add a hyperlink, and we'll just link it to dunderdata.com like this. So we're going to add a hyperlink with the anchor tag, and anchor tags are inline elements, so it should appear right in line. Now what we could do is we can just do the reverse. So we can set the display here instead of inline to block, and so let's just see what happens here. So we're going to force the anchor tag to be a block level element, and now it has to appear on its own line, even though it is nested inside this paragraph tag, so it will appear on its own line. But what will happen is the paragraph will continue, and it'll still be an inline element, but it'll have to be on the, it can't continue up here, so it's just forced to continue down below, and then the H2 is still inline, so it appears on the same line over there. So this is just to show you that you can change the display from block to inline or vice versa with this display property.